Hi, welcome back. Welcome back to what about indie games? I'll say it sooner or later, and we're on episode 7.
7. 7.
Okay, we
Look,
just
Melbourne's just had a low density heat wave or something, or low intensity heat wave.
and you enjoyed it thoroughly.
Oh, I hate it so much. I hate it so much. The combination of the hot night and a dog that wanted my attention at like 4 in the morning really does not make a good combo for sleeping.
Yeah, that's true. Um, we're going to talk about indie games and stuff. Is there any indie games that like make heat waves better? Like, have you played anything over the time that you can think of that just a heat wave? You go, oh, I don't feel heat because I'm playing this game.
No.
That's what someone should be challenging to make a game where you don't to make you feel unhot because of heat wave.
I find that when I'm hot, I do not tolerate frustrating mechanics as much. So I actually played a lot of Urban Myth Dissolution Center during the heat wave because I had it on my Switch, which doesn't heat the house like a PC does. But I also tried to play Super Mario Wonder, and I know everyone else loves Super Mario Wonder, and I just cannot get into it.
I no, see, I loved it. The first time I played it, I really loved Super Mario Wonder. But it's one of those games you get sick of really. You get over it really quickly. Like the first, you play it for about, I don't know, a couple of hours. You're like, oh, this is the greatest game ever. And then you're just over it. You're just like, yeah, probably never play that again. It's
See, that's the thing. Most people were like, "Oh, this is so good. This is so good," and I'm just like, "When does it kick in? Why am I not enjoying this?" I generally like Mario games, but Wonder just feels same,
same.
same. That's probably the best way I can put it.
I think that's what they did on purpose though, because they're like, well, this is what works. Let's just make a game that works. We know what our audience wants from us. Let's not do something crazy and make a Wii U or something like that, or make a game that they like.
Well, the Wonder Seed is supposed to be the gimmick that is the thing, but I don't know. I just haven't. It's just not clicked with me. I know that Serral's had a bit of trouble with it. Mark Serral's, it took him a while for it to click, but it just seems like everyone was like, "Oh, it's so good," and I'm like, "What is wrong with me? Why aren't I as enamored?" Like, I still haven't completed it. I've owned it for 2 years, and I still have not finished it, or whenever it came out. I think it's like a year and a half.
Is it? Is it because people like are getting less attention span? Like that's fact. So games like Wonder, people like that have like the old school way of thinking about video games maybe wonder, and that doesn't appeal to them. They're looking for a bit more depth, and it's more aimed at people with lower attention spans potentially.
I don't know. I don't think that's the case because when I'm playing it during the heat, my attention span is whack anyway. And I just found that I'd play it, I'd die a few times on the same stage, and then I'd just give up because I'm like, it's too hot. I can't be bothered. And I think part of my problem with Wonder is that I keep playing it when it's hot.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe you just have to go
Like,
and give it a
it's
go
not.
in
I'm not saying it's.
the day.
I was gonna say it's not a terrible game. It's just not a great game either. And for me, I'm just finding it's very mid.
Okay, well, what is a great game from you? I'm assuming it's an indie game.
Well, I was able to play all of Urban Myth Dissolution Center during the hot days. I had
Okay.
no problem. I was very into that when I was playing it. I
Is that an indie
was playing
game?
it for. It is an indie game. It only released yesterday.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard of this one. What you said? Say it again. Say it again.
Urban Myth Dissolution Center.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's not what I
And yes,
expected
it
it
does
to
not
be.
sound like the title of a game. I know people are like, it.
It
I'm gonna have some
it's
of my iced coffee.
okay. It looks really. Is it Japanese made?
Yes,
Okay. I was going to say it looks like it's come from that crazy
Japan.
world. Yes.
Yeah. It's if I was going to compare it as like any other game, I would say it's like Ace Attorney.
Okay.
I actually I received a copy for free because I was reviewing it. I got it on Switch. I was initially expecting to get it on Steam, which is where I played the demo, and they gave me a Switch copy. And at first, I was like, "Oh, I wanted it on Steam." I was like, "Oh, Switch isn't terrible. I'll play it on the Switch." In the end, I'm actually really glad I did get it on Switch because it meant I could play it during the heat. Also, it just reminded me of when I played the first Ace Attorney on the DS when I was playing it on Switch. So I actually had that hit of nostalgia for a game that I'd never played before.
Okay. No, that's actually really cool. It looks like it centers around the whole Illuminati kind of thing, and that used to be like a really big thing 10 years ago. Is that like a big thing about it, or is it just like,
It's the eye, isn't it?
yeah, the triangle eye? It's just like Illuminati stuff, and I'm like, I haven't seen Illuminati
Uh,
stuff
I
for a
think
while.
I think it's less to do with the Illuminati, and I think it might have more to do with the Mayan and Egyptian type ones, like the all-seeing eye and stuff like that.
Ah, okay. Which
Yeah, so
I
it's
thought,
supposed to be
yeah, I
a lot
thought.
of the time you're revealing the truth, so the all-seeing eye makes a lot of sense.
Ah, okay. Is it like a detective game?
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, you go to there are cases based on urban myths, and you get really weird cases. So, for example, the first case is a guy keeps appearing in a person's apartment, and they don't know what's happening, why it's happening. So they ask the Urban Myth Dissolution Center to come and find out what's happening. And basically, what happens is that at first you will do social media research. So you'll check social media to see what the rumors are on there. You'll see what people are talking about and where this myth might have originated from.
Ah, that's a kind of really interesting concept.
Yeah, yeah. There's, I think, I don't know if it's a concept in other countries. I know there's a concept that has appeared multiple times in Japanese anime and games and manga and stuff where if you talk about something a lot, like if there's an urban myth and it's talked about, it can make it come to life. It can make it true.
It's
But this is kind of like debunking that. But so you check the social media first, you find clues, then you go to the location and you find more clues, you talk to the people there that are involved, you get their testimony and stuff. Then you have to identify what urban myth it is.
yeah, right.
So there's and people are going to be like, oh, if it's Japanese game, they're all going to be Japanese myths. I knew all of them except one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ah, so it's kind of like
So,
Ghostbusters meets. Is that Urban Legend? Was that the movie back in the 90s? That did.
oh, I don't think I've seen that. Sounds like something I might be interested in, though.
It was a movie that kind of went around like these myths and stuff like that, and yeah, it was a. So yeah, it seems like a Ghostbusters mixed with urban legends. It seems like it's maybe inspired by those early 2000s, late 90s type
I
movies.
honestly think it was very inspired by Ace Attorney because the way the narrative is weaved, as well as what you're doing, it's almost like they took Ace Attorney and they went, what if we base it an Ace Attorney based on urban legends and it's just the detective part, not the courtroom part.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Could
So
be.
there's no objections in this one.
No, I object. And you can obviously. Is there lots of like voice acting in it, or is it only reading a
There's no
thong?
voice acting. But the music is very good.
Okay.
And I love the style of it and everything. Like it's really that muted palette just really works with the story very well. It's I'm I was trying to think of the downsides of the game when because I'm writing the review for it. Actually, I was writing it before we did this podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I'm trying to think of what a downside is, and I'm like, I can't really think of one.
So this is a 10 out of 10 game from you. Is that what you're trying to say?
It'd be really, really close.
Yeah, right. So this is
So it would either be a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 because honestly, one of the good things that I like about it is that in Ace Attorney, if you made a mistake, you had 5 lives. If you made a mistake, they took a life away. They don't have a life system in Urban Myth Dissolution Center, so you're not getting that kind of like when you think you're on the right track and you make a guess or you're confident and then you get that life taken away and suddenly you're like, oh well, now I'm not really sure where I'm supposed to go. So or sometimes you think you know the answer and you pick the thing that you think is the answer and it's not the correct answer and you lose a life, and if it's your last life then have to start again. There's none of that.
so. How does the game punish you then?
Basically it lets you try again. So it goes, that's the wrong like it essentially says, no, that's not really the right answer, let's think this through again, and then it will try to give you the hint. It does it in a way so that it's not dragging you out of the story,
Ah, okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
So the whole idea is to keep the story moving forward. The narrative is incredibly important to the game, obviously. But even like the social media research, generally once you've got all the clues in the social media research, you can then just move on to the next section. A lot of the time I would go through and read all the rest of it.
Yeah, fair enough. So you enjoyed the story by the sounds of it a lot.
Yes, I really loved it. Well, it had supernatural elements, it had twists and turns, and it just, things weren't always what they seemed, and I really love that sort of stuff. It also helped that each case was its own standalone case, but even though there was each standalone case, there was small things that kind of tied them all together.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, it like kind of shows you how they were all connected all along.
Is it
And it's
long to
just
play
like
through?
I think each case took about an hour, roughly. I It could have been longer. It might have been shorter. You know what? I can probably just check my Switch.
You played for 5 hours, but it's a good length indie game. Because
Yeah, like I mean,
I
I
like
think, like I said,
those smallish games.
like I said, I think I used. I don't know how to check the playtime.
No,
I think it's up here.
in your settings. Okay.
Is it in the settings? I thought it was on the profile. Oh yeah, here
Ah.
we go. Oh, okay. I played it for more than 15 hours.
Oh, okay. So that's
So I
quite a
thought it
long.
was,
Yeah.
yeah, I thought it was only like an hour per case. So it was actually more like 2 or 3 hours per case, and I didn't even notice.
Yeah, that's the best kind of games though. When you're playing a game and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, where did that 3 hours go? That game has been perfect for you.
Well,
You
yeah,
know.
like I looked, I was like, it's been 3 hours. What? What? What?
Yeah.
I
No.
really thought it was only like it because somebody's like, "Oh, is it a short game?" Yeah, it's only about an hour per case. Fairly quick.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah. No, it's fine. No, it sounds like a pretty cool game. I'm interested in it. I'll put it to my list of. The only other detective kind of game I have played recently was This Bed We Made. I'm not sure if you've played that one at all.
Oh, I played the demo of it, and I think if I remember correctly, it made me a little bit motion sick. Is that the one that's like set in Russia?
No, this it's set in like a um, 19, what would you call it?
Oh, is this one the one that's in America and you're a maid?
Yeah, yeah, 1950s hotel.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, sorry, I got confused with there's one where it's about a terrible life that from war-torn Russia. I got those two confused.
Yeah, no, no, this one's like you're a maid, and then so you're snooping around in the people's rooms to try and uncover this murder that you think might have happened, and you're not even sure if the murder's happened kind of at the start or whatever. But it's a very different perspective of how to do an actual mystery kind of game instead of just like you're a straight up detective, and that's what I think your game has got in common with that, like the way that you've talked about
Yeah,
this
the
game.
person that is actually the detective isn't actually a detective. She's literally a university student
Yeah,
who basically gets blackmailed into becoming a detective for the guy that runs the center.
yeah, and I like that where you don't have like the quintessential detective. You've got like a makeshift detective, and it kind of adds another element to the mystery as
Yeah,
well.
she's a makeshift detective that can see ghosts. But they say that they call it traces of the past or ghosts. But she's also scared of them, which I think is really funny. So she spends the first chapter or two being like, "Do I touch this? Can I touch this? What is it? I'm still really scared of it." And
Yeah, no, but yeah, it's pretty cool. So I will keep an eye out for that one.
I wasn't aware that this bed we made was out. I thought it was still in development.
Oh, it's been out for ages. It's
I just missed it then.
yeah, you've missed it completely. It came out November 1st of November 2023. So we're a couple of years behind now.
Whoopsie.
Well, it feels like that because we're in 25, but it's only really a year and a bit. So yeah, I would.
I think I'd only just started reviewing stuff around then too,
Yeah,
or like a couple of months before that. So I was still a bit, what is happening?
a bit fresh to it all, but yeah, it's definitely. I don't know. It's definitely worth getting into that game. It's really cool. I've only played it about a couple of hours or something into it, and I enjoyed that thoroughly. But it's got a lot of voice acting in that too, and it's really well done. That's why I asked about the voice acting in the game you talked about, because it was, yeah, the voice acting in that can sometimes make detective games or break
Yeah,
detective
I'm like,
games.
I don't know if voice acting would help. I'm not sure if it's really required. I think it's fine without it.
Yeah. Well, that game's 2D and it's a little bit more comic book styling, where this game that I was talking about, it's
It's a
more,
pixel style,
yeah,
or it's very much similar to a lot of the older kind of games. And I just, yeah, I don't think that it really needs the voice acting because it's got the soundtrack and the soundtrack's good. I actually bought the soundtrack because I didn't pay for it, so I was like, maybe I can do this at least to show my support.
that was. Do you ever listen to a soundtrack later on?
Yeah, sometimes if I'm writing, like if I'm writing the PAX videos, a lot of the time I will listen to like remixes and stuff of video game music to try and help me concentrate.
Okay. Oh, I'll tell my music guy that because I always joke to him that no one will buy the soundtrack, so don't worry about how shit it is. And
Oh no, like even when I was writing the House Flipper review, I was listening to the House Flipper soundtrack over and
okay,
over and over. So sometimes when I'm writing about the game, it I like to listen to the same soundtrack.
so you should. Do you recommend that indie developers give people like yourself soundtrack keys as well, so they can get right into the mood?
Um, you don't have to do the soundtrack keys. Like the House Flipper one was actually Frozen District had it on their YouTube page.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so you don't necessarily have to give keys if you make it so that it's accessible. Like I would say always sell a soundtrack alongside your game. Some people might buy it, some people might not. It's completely up to them.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
But if you don't offer it, then you're going to miss out on the sales because you're not going to get any because it's not there.
Yeah, no, that's true. I think then you can't have the deluxe edition of your indie game either. So everyone loves the deluxe edition. What else can you give out in a deluxe edition? Maybe a skin or something
Art
like
books.
that. Art books. Yeah.
Usually the deluxe edition is a digital art book and a soundtrack.
Oh, and do you go through art books often?
Me? No.
So, art guy, don't worry about art books, but sound guy, worry about soundtrack. Okay, that's all
I
good.
mean, it's for me, it's I don't really have anywhere like to show them off, so I don't really care about art books. I have a couple, but like it'd be great if I had a coffee table, but because I live with my mum, I'm squished into my room and I don't really have anywhere to display them.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
I'm
I
not sure how you do it with digital ones.
I don't know how
Maybe
you
you
do it.
leave them
Did
on a
you?
tablet on the table.
I don't know. I think they're more of a curiosity thing too. Like, especially if you really like a game, like to see the concept art later on as you're playing through. You go, oh, that's actually I do like that part where I can go, oh, that's how they came up with that idea by drawing this, and then they changed it to this, and then they changed it to that. I guess more game developers and stuff probably go into art books to learn, I guess, in some ways.
I think a lot of fans like them too. I mean, I know that when they released physical special editions, I would often grab the ones with the art books because I did like looking at art books back then.
You're just trying
That
to
was when I was
you're
in my 20s. I
backpedaling.
had disposable. No, no. I was in my 20s. I had disposable income. My brother didn't live with me. I had more room.
Yeah.
I have the smallest room in the house, and it's half a bedroom, half an office.
And no art books.
I've got some.
You got more
I've got two there at
two.
least.
Okay.
The
So
rest are. Oh, I've got encyclopedia, the Zelda encyclopedia, and the arts and artifact one as well. The rest are guidebooks that I've probably shouldn't hold on to, but I'm doing it anyway.
oh, okay, fair enough. I wanted to talk a little bit about Feed the Deep. Have you ever heard of that game?
No, it sounds like a mobile game.
It does sound like that. It's actually a game, and it was actually funded by Screen Australia, so it had a bit of backing and stuff about it. So I was surprised. It came out last year, mid August, so not that old of a game. But okay, so I stumbled across the game basically because I really love a game called Dome Keeper. Like Dome Keeper, I can't
Yep.
talk highly enough about that game. I'm so heavily addicted to that game.
Is that your 10 out of 10 game?
No, because there's some things I don't like about it, but it's a very solid Steam Deck game. From a Steam Deck
It's a
point of view,
7 out of 10.
well, I'd say 8. It's
It has some problems, but it's very enjoyable. No, no, you remember the old 7 out of 8 games where it had problems, but it was
yeah.
just a really good, fun game. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, no, well, it's probably only got a few things that I don't personally like, so I would give it an 8 because it's not really. I wouldn't say it's got some problems. It's got probably a couple of minor things that just aren't that annoy me. But besides that, you know what I mean? Like it probably doesn't annoy most people. But anyway, I'm not talking too much about that game. We're more talking about Feed the Deep, which is basically very similar in that you start the game and you're a scuba diver and you go down these caves and then you pick up gems and stuff down in the caves and bring them up to the surface. And the idea is to craft things once you get these gems, and then you use them to unlock doors and different things like that. So they sell.
Can Can you get stuck in caves without oxygen and then die?
Yes.
Yeah, no. I don't like Subnautica. I don't like anything to do with underwater caves.
Yeah, and so that was probably like one of the worst things about this game. All I was going to say is that I like the idea of this game. It's if Domekeeper's an 8 out of 10, this is probably a 5 out of 10. Some of the things that are positive about it is the price of it is really, really nice. It's only like $10 Australian, which is like $7 US or something like that. But it's just, they've managed to make Domekeeper unfun, basically, by trying to add
They managed to take the fun formula and then ruining it.
Yeah. So it's a good little kind of concept, and I think it was made by one dude. And like aesthetically, it looks really good. There's so much to like about the game. It's just the gameplay. I couldn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to. So
Yeah, it honestly, it sounds like I play horror games, but I cannot play anything to do with underwater caves. It just freaks me out. I have heard too many horror stories about people going into caves and like there was a guy that went into a cave to rescue another cave diver, and when he managed to put a bag of air on him and lift the body up, but ended up dying himself. And they were like, we can't keep sending people down.
This has got dark already.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but freaks me out. It freaks me out. I've seen videos of people going into caves and there's like water and they go under the water to find out what's on the other side. You don't know what's on the other side. I'm not fucking going down there. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
It really
breathe.
It's
breathe.
Like,
it's okay.
I can deal with most horror games, but I cannot deal with that. That just ramps my anxiety up to like 10.
It does ramp your anxiety up in this particular game, but there is like little water like bubbles coming out of the ground, like similar to like a Mario game or whatnot. You know how like they've got like the 2D Mario game parts where you'll be swimming along underneath, and then you'll see the bubbles, and you go and swim over near them, and you can get some air.
Oh, that's Mario 64.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Or Tomb Raider does it as well.
Which is an 2D one.
There's a few games that do that in the. So it does do that part, but it's.
I wouldn't be surprised if Tomb Raider is part of the reason why I have this problem.
I would say so because, oh my god, the water levels in them was so fast and furious. Like you didn't have hardly any time. It was very tight between swimming from here to here. You had to know exactly where, but you had to find where that other point B was in Tomb Raider.
I think I was like 10 when it came out, and while I would explore the mansion in number 2, I think I tried to play 1 a little bit, and every time I think I climbed up something and these dinosaurs appeared, and I was just like, no, that's it, I'm done.
But this one here, I think because it's a roguelike as well, so once you drown, you have to start again essentially. And this is where the problem in this game comes into it, because then you have to repeat the puzzles that you've just done. So like a puzzle roguelike doesn't necessarily work from my point of view. Because
Guys, Ant's trying to traumatize me.
Yeah, if you know what I mean. Like, why would you? Because you got to go down and do the same puzzles that you've just done to get further along through the roguelike.
Okay, can I maybe suggest? I think it can be done because there's one that I played a demo of for Next Fest last year, about a year ago, called Blueprints.
Oh yeah. But that,
you remember me going on and on about how good that was?
That was really good, but because they changed the puzzles each time.
No, you start fresh each time because it's the same puzzle. It's just you've got to try and get through it. But each time you try to get through it, you learn from your mistakes and then you get to try again.
Yeah, okay. But what about if you get through that puzzle and then you die in the second puzzle? Do you have to start the
There is no second puzzle.
Oh, there's only
That's
one.
the end of the game.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, you've got to place 45 rooms, and you've got to be able to get through to the 46th room, but you have to do it in such a way so that your character doesn't get too tired. And you get random, you have to pick 3 rooms. It gives you 3 random rooms and you have to pick them. So you've basically got to try and pick the best ones
Yeah.
to make it so you can get through.
I suppose if you're learning things each death, that's a different scenario for me compared to like if you figured it out and then you have to just do it for doing sake.
Oh yeah.
Doing
No,
sake.
the thing I liked about blueprints is that if you is that when you get to the point where you fail your mission, it just starts fresh.
Yeah.
So you can start again. But you've learnt from your last one. Yeah. It's just I don't know. I feel like puzzles and roguelite, it can work, but it has to be done in a very specific way.
Yeah, I think it's a real challenge to get that right as it was. So, see, I'm not going to ditch on the game because I think it's a really nicely priced game, and it's probably some people are probably gonna love it more than other people.
Yeah, I was going to
Obviously.
say, do you think that part of the problem is that it's just not for you?
Well, I thought I would really love it because it's very similar to the Dome Keeper kind of concept, and I love nothing more than dome keeping. It's great. I mean, Thronefall's better, but Dome Keeper is like from that point of view is really really good. So I don't think it's just not for I don't know. Maybe it's just not for me, but yeah, it's maybe because Dome Keeper
It
is
sounds like
so
they've changed
good.
too much to make it like maybe they were trying to appeal to an audience that isn't like they've moved away from your type of audience and it's trying to appeal to someone else, and then you've played it and gone, oh yeah, not really my thing.
Maybe.
Or I really don't like how they've leaned more into this. I would have preferred if they'd leaned more into that.
There's a lot of people that have probably said. So this one guy's in his review has written, after playing Feed the Deep for 8 hours, I got the chance to play Dome Keeper. Then this is not my comment. This is not me. Okay, I got the chance to play Dome Keeper. Then I said to myself, okay, that's what Feed the Deep was trying to do, because without even paying attention to the game, it inspired them. So that's. I think it depends if you play Dome Keeper or not playing Dome Keeper. If you haven't played Dome Keeper, you're probably going to play Feed the Deep and go, oh, this is really, really fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then there's another, maybe I just started with the good version or the better version of that type of game.
That's entirely possible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like how there's lots of Vampire Survivors out there now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to spruik my friend's game. Careening is now out in early access where you play as a car.
Only way I would want to play as a car.
Yeah. Well, it's a Vampire Survivors like, but in a car. You are in a car and you have to try and destroy all the robots. And I think you've got half an hour or something, and the world blows up at the end or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like Vampire Survivors games, so I couldn't really play it.
I think there's
Although I also haven't tried it yet. I've been busy.
Too many. But I was going to.
It is his first game, though. This is his very first game, so, and he's also a solo dev.
Oh, well, he's probably doing a really good job. What's the game called again? Just so we can talk about it.
Careening.
Spell it.
Careening.
E-A-E-A-R. Why do people make stupid names for games?
It's a pun.
Car.
Reening.
Reening. Yeah, reening. Reening. Okay. Okay, I'll get.
It's 2 E's.
2 E's. How can you see my screen? Are you hacking me?
No, I just figured that was the case.
Yeah, I think it'll be.
If I had elite hacking skills, I'd use them to be able to make a game. I can't make a game for shit, and you know that.
Yeah, that's true.
I made a match free, and I couldn't move the score. Had to ask Ant how to help me because I couldn't figure it out.
That's true. Um, I was going to say, it's of course it's a Subaru. Oh my god, it's a WRX Subaru.
Yeah, yeah. They
Oh my god.
I think he said that was his first car or something. He said that it was a. He was like, I have to make it this car.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. It
It's
actually
really not supposed to be taken seriously. It's very much a silly joke game that's.
yeah.
But the thing is, he's actually updating it fairly often. Like, as soon as someone gives him feedback saying, this bit's a bit
Yeah, no,
wonky, or
it
going,
looks fun and it looks like a little bit of fun. Don't get me wrong, it looks
yeah,
pretty cool.
that's it. I think that's all it's supposed to be.
It reminds me of that game. Is it Car with a Sword? Have you ever played that game?
No,
It looks like that game.
I only know, what is, what
Is
did
it
I play? What the car?
or is it Sword Car? Hang on.
Okay.
It's Sword Car. That's what it is. Yeah, and it's almost exactly the same game, except Sword Car's cheaper um, than
Yeah, because
Carini.
he's not Australian, I'm guessing.
Yeah, yeah, I would say, but it's more hectic, even more hectic than careening.
Yeah, he's done a lot of trial and error for power ups and stuff as well. At
Yeah.
one point, he boosted a power up. I think at some point the car has boobs as well. I keep hearing them talk about this, and I'm like, they were like, it's got headlights, and I'm like, what are you guys on about?
It has boobs.
I think they said something about he added it to for boob physics or something. I don't know. I was like,
Oh my
I
god, this is
I
getting.
came in. It's like I'm walking into the conversation and just like, okay, and then walking back out.
I see that. Um. Well, I went to IGDE. Was it that? Is that how they spell it? The
Isn't it the International Game Developers Association?
yeah, IGDE. A no.
IGDA?
Yeah, that's what I went to. That thing. I did that on the
Yeah, I actually ended up being asked by two devs if I was coming. One was you, of course. And then I got asked later on. They
Dolphin.
were like, "Oh, why didn't you come?"
Was it
Yeah,
Dolphin?
Dolphin asked as well.
Yeah, I talked to them there. They were cool. Oh, well, because we went to Singapore together. Me and Dolphin go back way years. I played the card.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
played the card game there. So yeah.
What'd you think?
The cards are actually reasonably quality. I think they're selling it for a good price too. So I'm
Because
not.
I helped. I was one of the card testers for the.
Oh, I knew you would be, but but it's actually I didn't play the game. Like I just played with the cards. I explained to them explicitly that I don't know how to play card games, and I would be waste. It would be wasted on me. I'm better off drinking a beer over here. And they said okay. So
It's very. It's similar to Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic the Gathering, except obviously you don't have collectible cards.
yeah,
Basically, everyone gets the same deck, and you just have to strategically use what you've got.
yeah.
Because I was giving them advice on color blindness, because unfortunately, my friend that I usually play board games with is colorblind.
Well, if I one I've my first game that I ever made, the guy, one of my friends from America was colorblind, and he's like, I can't play this game because you've put like the puzzles all about colors, and I have no idea what colors what because it makes no sense. Um, so he's forever teaching me color blindness and how it works. And then now when I make a puzzle game, I put symbols and colors onto things so people that are colorblind can understand that. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
because unfortunately, red-green color blindness is the most common one, which
And
means that when red and green are together, they can't actually tell the difference between them. But if they're
yeah,
separate, they can. And the second most common one is yellow.
yeah,
And I can't remember. I think the third one is, I'm not quite sure, which is, I think it's like the trichromia or blah 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 blah. But the very last one, which is the rarest of them all, is no color whatsoever. It's all grayscale.
that'd be like living in 1960. But yeah, it'd be a bit
Oh yeah,
challenging.
because the world was all in grayscale back then.
Well, TV was, and that's all I lived through
Yeah, TV
TV.
was. Well, it's like the Addams Family. Their set was actually pink
Oh,
because it was the color that looked. Yeah, it's because it looked really. It came through on the black and white really well, so they had a pink set.
yeah, right. This show's all about learning. Um,
It's all
but
about me telling you random crap that I've picked up from my life, and I don't know where I learned this stuff. Well, I actually know where I learned that. It was YouTube.
so at this event though, this is back to we worked out what it was called.
Dolphin.
Dolvin was there. They were at the event. They showed me some card games. They're going to be showing.
Rita was there.
Rita was there. I talked to him for a bit. He played Lighthouse World, and we exchanged information about stuff that's top secret. And I also
Sure.
yeah, and I also played.
You heard it here first, guys. They're going to do a crossover.
No, not well. Not at this, not that we haven't talked about that, but potentially
Not that you guys know.
you'll make it happen. Okay, potentially, but also played a bit of Memories Reach, and yeah, that was
That's really good.
yeah, it's really cool. But the have you played the demo?
Of Memories Reach?
Yes.
Yes, I have. I played it not this
said-
PAX, but the PAX before. If you actually check the Memories Reach website, there's a quote there on it, the webpage from me.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you're mad at me for not using your quotes? Okay.
What? I didn't say anything like that.
Well, that was impliedness. No, but anyway, so he's got a new demo coming out soon, and I was playing a bit of the new demo, and it's actually even better than the other stuff. So, yeah, just thought I'd let you in on what to expect going forward.
Look, I have Memories Reach wish listed, and I have yours wish listed. I have them both.
Okay, well, that's excellent. But there were some pretty cool games there. I didn't get it.
If I review your game, then you can take one of my quotes if you want.
Not. I just want you to do a quote, like something like random, like "game does not have enough boobs in it," or something like that.
Why would I care about that? Couldn't pat the dog enough. 0 out of 10.
Yeah, use that.
Too many people interrupting my dog petting abilities.
Yeah, use that, and yeah, I'll do that. That'll be perfect. It'll work out. What happened to you? Did you just drop out? Like,
Collect connection. Yeah, I lost connection there. That was
okay.
me.
Cool. Yeah,
It's so weird because it's now on 3 bars.
three quotes like that. Yeah, all those kind of quotes would be amazing. But yeah, the problem with going to these events is that I didn't have my other guys there, and so I couldn't go around and play other games and do other things too much. So going to these events is really interesting though, because you get to meet lots of different people, and a lot of these events are really good for like indie developers because there's lots of other indie developers there that give you some good information. I was talking to the guy from Servernauts as well about how his launch went.
Oh, yeah, Servernauts.
Yeah.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just talking about how things went and all that kind of stuff. So that was
Very good game. If you have a very good co-op game, if you have people to play with.
I was really surprised at like it's got all the things going for that game that I don't understand why it hasn't been like a number one hit game. It looks great, it plays great, it's a good price. It,
I think it
you
might
know,
just be that a lack of advertising.
but I don't know. Like it's just good on everywhere you look at it. Like it's hard to work out why the game wasn't way more successful.
Did they approach streamers?
I
Did they
don't know.
give streamers free copies of the game? Like, because I feel like that's kind of what happened with Batography, which is Spork Tank, who makes Reader. That's their every game they launched like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Basically, streamers have all been jumping on it to play it. And it's only like a 15-minute game if you're not trying to get all the mooncakes.
Yeah.
But because like it became popular with streamers, it kind of got a bit of traction.
Yeah. No, cool.
And I think Servonauts could do the same, but they need someone to do the legwork for them, I think, and that's the problem. Is that, paying for that is expensive.
It could be like that, but it was just surprising because I have another theory on it as well. So you go to PAX and you go to all these conventions. If you've ever been to one of those things, you see a game like Servonauts, which is a four. If anyone hasn't played it, it's a 4-player couch co-op game. And at these events,
But you can play it single player too.
okay, I didn't know that. At these,
Yeah. They added in a puzzle element so that you can play it single player if you want to.
okay.
They told me last PAX.
You know everything. Anyway, at these events,
I'm not the indie stalker for nothing.
yes, keep your name. At these events though, like these games go really well. Like they get a big crowd around them because you got 4 people playing at a time, and everyone's like living it up. But then, how many people in real life play couch co-op at home?
I think that's a lot of the problem is that unless you have an online element, online multiplayer, which often is so expensive that people don't bother. Mm-hmm. A lot of indie devs they go, oh yeah, no, I'll add online multiplayer, and then they look at the cost and they go, it's way out of reach. I can't afford that.
And you need many people buying the game constantly to do the online multiplayer, to keep up the servers and all that kind of stuff is
a lot of
work.
A lot of people are doing the workaround they're using is Steam Remote Play, which doesn't really work in Australia
Oh, it's garbage.
unless you have really good internet.
It's garbage.
It doesn't work for us because our internet's crap.
Oh, it doesn't. It's not
And
too
expensive.
bad. If I was to play a remote play game with across to you, where you live, like not far, but if I was playing a game with people on the other side of the world, which a lot of people, or even if I'm playing with people up in Sydney or something, which is like 100,000 kilometers away, it's not really that far. Then it just doesn't work over a longer distances like that, I think.
I tried to play it with my internet. I'm on the lowest bandwidth internet because I can't afford higher plans. They're just too expensive. And my friend had a frame rate of 0.
It's better than -1.
He couldn't see where his character was, but I could. So we tried to communicate so that he could make a jump. This was in it's basically the exact same problem that Which Way Up Galaxy Games had. They went to Kickstarter to try and get the money to make the online version. But what I think after they did the Kickstarter, they decided that it wasn't worth the money because it was too expensive. It was going to be too costly. Mm-hmm. And even though it would probably make the game a little more popular, there wasn't really much point because it's really hard. And I guess in a way it's kind of hard with streamers because unless they have that extra person, you can't really show off the couch co-op capabilities unless they have a second person there as well. So
yeah, and well, I mean, you've seen so many streamers. They'll do Minecraft and Roblox and Fortnite and all these.
Well,
games.
a lot of them do Party Animals, which is very similar to Servonauts, but it's
online.
It's online, yeah.
So yeah,
So
I'm
it's
wondering if these couch co-op games, as well as they do at conferences, kind of that's where they peak, and then people are like, I
it
don't know.
always looks really good at the convention, and that's because they've always got generally always got 4 players.
Yeah. I,
But at home, like if I have I actually have a copy of Which Way Up Galaxy Games. I actually have a copy of Servonauts too.
you've got
I
every
can't play
copy.
them. I don't have anyone to play with. I don't have everything.
Yeah. I thought, yeah, that's right. So well, you can play the one player's component of both of them. I think they both put a player component in.
Yes, they've put a one-player component in. So then, as the next problem, I don't have time to play them because I'm busy reviewing other games.
So basically, your games suck. The you didn't
Well,
say.
it's more I don't have to. Well, I don't have to review Servonauts,
Yeah.
so I'm not reviewing it. Also, Which Way Up Galaxy Games, I made video content for it to help advertise it. So
You know it. You know that stuff.
also, we need to stop the Sprout favoritism. Too many people love Sprout.
Is that the green
Terrible.
one?
Yep.
I don't like that one at all.
I like Luna, which is the moon face one that always looks cranky, and she's very
Yeah.
sleepy. I'm like, yep,
Yeah,
perfect.
that
And
seems fun.
Spark,
Yeah, that one. But the green one's
pink
yeah,
one.
yeah. The green one's not my thing. I think they push
Yeah.
that one on to people like, oh, this is the best one. It's not like the end.
No, it's just because it's Alex's favorite. That's why.
Ah, okay.
I kept saying to him, "You got too much Sprout. We need more of the other ones. Like I think Prism finally featured in the latest trailer,
Ah,
but
okay.
I'm like, you need to. But I didn't even realize the one that looks like a magnet. Her name is Maggie, and I couldn't even remember her name because I just had never seen her much.
Have they got like backstories to him now? Because I remember like I was talking to
They do kind of, yeah.
yeah, I was talking to Nick like it must have been a year and a half ago, and I was talking about how I think it's important, even if you don't tell like people in exact words, this is the character's backstory. You've got to make that backstory for the character so you know how that character is going to work in the game.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, I just designed him to be cute. I don't really care about backstories." And I'm like, okay, you do you."
They are cute though.
Yeah, oh, yeah, definitely.
No, I'm pretty sure they do. They do have backstories. I'm pretty sure because, like, for
Yeah,
example,
he was. I think it was around that time he took that on board, and he like. So I may be responsible for backstories in Victoria. That I'm just going to claim that. Okay.
also for anyone who's interested, it releases, I believe, on the 27th of March.
I think
Got a
so.
release date now
Is that
on Switch and Steam.
doing both? Okay. Yeah. Cool. Cool bananas. It's going to be exciting. I'm interested to see how it goes.
Yeah, they're not going to the Game Expo this year because it's literally the day before it releases. I was like, that's completely fair.
But why? I mean, they've got you and they've got other people working for their marketing department or whatever. Why wouldn't they just send other people to the Game Expo like yourself and you could just put the game, you could work the booth?
Probably because they know that I'm a freelancer that also does
Other thing. Well, I
like the
bet they've got
journalistic side of
is
things.
Alex would be going, wouldn't he?
I don't know, but they've got 3 games they're representing there this year.
Okay. What's up?
So they've
Oh shoot! No. I was trying to see. Oh, hang on. Okay, I'll bring you back. Here you go.
Ant is erasing me.
I was trying to.
Um,
No, I was trying to see what's what at the. I was looking stuff up and I clicked the wrong button. My bad. Anyway,
pretty sure they've got 3 this year. So
yeah, fair
I
enough.
mean, if I get my media pass, I'll be going anyway. which I hope I do because someone's
And
going to look after Ivy so I can actually finally enjoy it and actually go to the artist alley. Yes, last year I had to rush.
and I want like some really corny slogan about my game so I can put it across the new trailer that I make. No, you've got time to think
Oh,
about it. You've got time to think about it. That's for
right,
next time.
travel Tassie without traveling at all. There you go.
No, it's not corny.
You said
I
corny.
want it cornier than that. I want it to like people would go, "Oh, that just sounds terrible. I'm buying that game." You've got time.
I need to put a really terrible pun in there.
Yeah, and we've got time. It's all right. Let's just wrap this show up, and then you can think about it for next time. How about that?
No, I think I'm gonna have.
Okay. All right. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.